Look at this stuff. This is history here. You're history.
This is garbage. I can say, hey, I bled for garbage.
So this is meaningless.
No, at one time it meant a lot. When you're just a young kid, this is everything to you. But then you realize your priorities change. And you just want your children to be happy and do nice things, and that makes you happy. This is nothing. This is just nothing, man.
Shalom, like if I were undergoing praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash, I get double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to our sincere Akim, pushing his word across the four corners of the world. And I was just watching this video of Mike Tyson. In this world, he's considered a boxing legend. And over his time, a course of years in his career, he won over a lot of boxing championships. And he was just telling a reporter how all those championships are garbage to him. You know, growing up as a child and coming up into boxing, he looked at it as something that he always wanted to achieve. But once he accomplished those accolades, that was pretty much meaningless to him. And that lets you know how 2/3 of our people, the ones that sell out into this world, make it into this Hollywood industry, and they have to do all types of immoral things just to get a status here, just to get these so-called riches. And these so-called riches are temporal. Because at the end of the day, they're not completely happy within their spirit. And that's why they get up on all these types of drugs, because they really can't stand the things they have to do to sell out. Because a lot of times you have to bend over, you have to do blood sacrifices, you have to do all types of immoral things just to make that pact with Esau Edom, which is the physical counterpart of Satan himself. And this is Isaiah 28, verse 18. And your covenant with death should be disannulled. That's talking about to 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the ones of our people that want to follow after the image of the beast. You want to follow the ways of this devil. You want to sell out instead of waiting patiently for your Savior, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So you would rather sell out for temporal goods and just to receive that vain glory in this short time period of our captivity. So you didn't want to suffer. It was like a microwave success for you to go ahead and sell out to Esau Edom. But at the end of the day, that covenant or that binding agreement that you made with Esau Edom, which is the devil that the Bible speaks about, is going to be disannulled, meaning it's going to be canceled out. It's going to be voided. Because that trust that you put in Esau Edom, at the end of the day, you put your trust into a serpent, which is a cunning person. So Esau is not going to keep his bargain of the deal. A lot of our people who sold out, for example, Mike Tyson, he's up in age now, but at the end of the day, he's still receiving these little goodies like from the shows, might star in a movie or something like that. But his main accolades he got at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's vainglory. So it says that your covenant with death should be disannulled and your agreement with hell should not stand. When the overflowing scourge should pass through, then you should be trodden down by it. And that's when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to utilize Esau Edom, the same ones that you sold out to. He's going to come against you. And he's going to destroy you. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to authorize it. And this is the book of Psalm, the 37th chapter, the first verse. Fret not thyself because of evildoers. And that's speaking to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, the ones of our people, the Lord willing, that's us, that's sincerely trying to seek Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in these last days. We will rather wait for our Yahushai, our big brother, to lift us up and set us into a righteous standard so we can be able to govern the whole world, this whole universe, and not go into the ways of Esau Edom by trusting into his temporal riches. So right here it says, fret not, like don't be worried about these evildoers. And let's see why. Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass. And the main workers of iniquity, speaking about Esau Edom, as you see right now, he's in that power seat of rulership. And you have a lot of our people that have sold out unto him just to get those temporal goods, that temporal success. At the end of the day, it's all short-lived. Because right here it says, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. So 2/3 of our people that follow at the image of the beast, then those same individuals are going to accept the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. They're already seduced by the image of Baal because they're following after the fashion of this world. So they're all going to be put to death by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We'll drop down to verse 16. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. So Lord willing that we are those righteous men as the hopeful elect. And the little money that we're getting from our, so-called 8 to 5s, 9 to 5s, or whatever shifts that we have to work, is better than 2/3 of our people who have sold out for millions of dollars by signing these different contracts to Esau, Edom. They still had that displeasure within themselves because at the end of the day, they're Israelites. And that spirit of conscience is upon them. So they know what they did it for naught. But that's when they would rather substitute for the drugs so they can overshadow their thoughts about them selling out. And that's why you see majority of these rap artists, all these different entertainers, these actors and actresses, all of them are on drugs, especially the ones of our people, because they can't really fathom and look in the mirror at themselves what they really had to do to so-called achieve success. So a little that a righteous man had is better than the richest of many wicked. And we are considered as the poor, as the hopeful elect. So what we're going through and what we have, just our daily bread, is much better than the richest of 2/3 of our people who sold out to Esau, Edom. So we would rather wait upon our big brother Yahushua to set us up into that righteous glory, and we can have all the real riches, because with these people of ours who sold out, they're only selling out for Federal Reserve notes. And we already know, according to biblical prophecy and just watching the news of these different economic shows, that the dollar is going to collapse. So they sold out for nothing. So at least in our kingdom, we will have real riches: gold, silver, land, resources, cattle, which is something very profitable. And you never hear about these different rap artists or these different entertainers talk about gold or silver. Only thing they brag about is these Federal Reserve notes, which is nothing but IOUs, because it's not real money. So what we have is much better than the richest of many wicked. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter and 11th verse. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happening to them all. So you think about the Muhammad Ali's, the Mike Tyson's, the Michael Jordan's, the Jerry Rice, the so-called greats of our people in their particular crafts or sports that they put all their time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears into. As you can see, that era passed. That's why it says, but time and chance happening to them all. So all the entertainers of our people that sold out into this Hollywood industry, it's all short-lived. That's why it says, but time and chance happening to them all. So all the blood, sweat, tears that you put into your particular craft, it's all vainglory. And that's exactly what Esau does. He utilized the talents from these different jakes that have sold out. Make you an idol, make you popular, make you in high demand, make you so-called rich. But when he sees fit that you're not in so much demand anymore, he'll take you off the shelf and just cast you off to the side. Because you're not so-called popular or in demand in this so-called era anymore. Just look at the different groups that came up in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Most of them you pretty much don't even hear anything about. Because that's what Esau does. He utilizes their talents. He exploit you to the public, to the masses. Then he get what he need to get off you as far as these so-called riches. Then he just toss you off to the wayside. So why would you put your trust and your faith into a serpent, and you know from past history that he's not a man of his word? So as the hopefully elect, hey, we'd just rather wait for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to raise us up into that prestige estate. And why would you want to be rich and have some type of glory in this society when it's ran by workers of iniquity? The pedophiles, the homosexuals, people all into this witchcrafts. Why you want to rule in a society and you got to be surrounded by that type of wickedness? So notice right here it says, but time and chance happening to them all. And let's see what time it's talking about. And this is the book of Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked. So right now it's the time of the wicked to rule, to have their glory on this earth right now. As it says in Job 9:24, that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So that's starting with Esau, Edom, trickling on down to these other nations, trickling on down to 2/3 of our people that have sold out and followed the image of Baal. So right now, as you can see, the wicked is winning. That's why this whole earth is out of course. But it's only short-lived. It's only for a certain point in time. And that's just for us as the hopeful elect to be judges of wickedness and righteousness. We will know both spectrums of how to deal in the next kingdom to come. So that's the point. Let favor be shown to the wicked. So while the wicked is currently ruling, let's get this in 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So this is like a spiritual marathon for the hopeful elect. And the whole point of this race is about balance. Having that foundation in Yahushua and continually keeping your eyes on the prize, which is the kingdom of heaven. Having that spiritual tunnel vision. And not be sidetracked or hindered by the devices of this world, which is nothing but distractions that keep you off your pace from reaching that kingdom. So know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that you may obtain. So what are we trying to obtain through the Spirit? And let's answer that in the book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the 16th verse. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. So the more you becoming renewed in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you're going to be just like our forefather, righteous Lot, or just Lot. He was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So you see how more wicked, how defiled this world be every day. You just see the mindsets of these people. And you just see and hear the filthy conversation of the wicked. It gets you more vexed in the spirit. That's definitely the right spirit to be in, especially in this day of time, these last days. So that's how you know you're being renewed day by day, because you're becoming that new creature in Yahushua. You're being conformed into a righteous standard under that righteous rule. And that's by Yahushua. Verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment. So while we're being vexed in the spirit day by day, by seeing the wicked being controlled, by the wicked being in that glorious state, by them winning right now, as it says, let favor be shown to the wicked. Just know in the back of your mind that all that is going to be short-lived. They're only going to have their time only temporarily. So that's why it says for our light affliction. So it's a burden seeing the wicked of our people, especially Esau, Edom, and these other nations in control right now. Like right now, they are the standard of the earth. Satan worship. So as it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, it's temporarily. And that's a great thing about it, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh is speeding the days up so Yahushua can come redeem his hopeful elect, the ones that are standing stiffly for his name in these last days. It says, working for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of glory. And this is what we are trying to obtain through the Spirit, to answer the verse that I just read in 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter. And this is 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at the things which are seen, which is this world, where it's given to the hand of the wicked, and favor is being shown to the wicked to rule, we're being into sodomy, witchcrafts, debauchery, adultery, all types of evildoing. It's the standard of this earth right now. So while we look not at the things which are seen, because all those things that I just mentioned, all of it's going to be short-lived. It's going to be temporary. But at the things which are not seen, what's that? The kingdom of heaven. As it says in the book of Matthew, the 6th chapter, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, meaning it's perishable. Think about the modern day women, how majority of them are thinking, which is feminism, which is contrary to the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Look at these little monsters that are called children, how they're growing up into this society nowadays. Look how emasculated the so-called black man has become in this world. So that's why it says in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, that their works should be burnt up therein. So all these things are going to be temporarily. It's perishable. It's decaying. It's destructible. But the things which are not seen are eternal. So the things that what we proclaim out there on the highways and the byways, we do our different videos through the Spirit. Majority of these people, especially 2/3 of our people, they cannot fathom that. So they cannot see what we see through the Spirit, which is something that we are trying to obtain. The kingdom of heaven, which is going to be an everlasting kingdom of righteousness. The righteous standard upon the earth, governed by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua via their laws, statutes, and commandments. a whole earth and universe in total order, a righteous order, which is the real New World Order. And that's something 2/3 of our people cannot see because they do not have that spiritual eyesight. They do not have that gift of faith and patience. So they'd rather sell out right now and receive that vainglory crown. So let's go back in 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So now we know what the prize is. So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Going right back to having that perfect balance. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. So 2/3 of our people, by selling out to Esau, Edom, that cunning serpent, what they have done, they have made that covenant with death. So they blood in, blood out with it. And that corruptible crown is nothing but vain glory. As it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 6th chapter, the 12th verse, for who knoweth what is good for the man in this life, all the days of his vain life which he spendeth as a shadow. So by our people selling out to Esau, Edom, trying to obtain this so-called American dream, you try to live like Esau, Edom, your father, the devil, you are trying to obtain a corruptible crown. So it says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And that incorruptible represents the hopeful elect. So by us putting off that mortal clothing and putting off the filth of this world and coming to the mindset of putting those beautiful garments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua on, being new creatures in Yahushua, which is a righteous sacrifice, and Lord willing that it be acceptable, that we could be able to have those first class seats in those glorious chariots, Al-Barakazah, which is something incorruptible, it's indestructible. That's something that no man can be able to break or tear down. So that's why it says in the book of Hebrews about doing things that accompany salvation. And how our conversation is in heaven. All that represents incorruptible. So it says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And that incorruptible represents the hopeful elect. So by us putting off that mortal clothing and putting off the filth of this world and coming to the mindset of putting those beautiful garments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua on, being new creatures in Yahushua, which is a righteous sacrifice, and Lord willing that it be acceptable, that we could be able to have those first class seats in those glorious chariots, Al-Barakazah, which is something incorruptible, it's indestructible. That's something that no man can be able to break or tear down. So that's why it says in the book of Hebrews about doing things that accompany salvation and how our conversation is in heaven. All that represents incorruptible. And this is the book of Matthew 11 chapter and the 28th verse. And this is Yahushua speaking to his disciples. In the spirit, he's really talking to the hopeful elect in this time frame. And it says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So as the hopeful elect, we now have that rest by receiving the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We have rest unto our souls because now we know that we don't have to try to make it into this world. So that takes a heavy load off of our backs to know that this whole place, America known as Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed very soon. Because we was taught in this world coming up into school, all these different colleges or universities, and just life in general, before we was walking to this beautiful knowledge about keeping up with the Joneses, by making it rich in this society. And 9 out of 10 times, if you really trying to get rich in this world, you have to do abominable things. You have to do dishonest or immoral types of things. So that gives us rest through the spirit that we can just wait upon Yahushua, and he will set us to be rich that this whole world cannot even be able to fathom. Verse 29, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. And here's the point, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Linking right back up to 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, the 16th verse, how our light affliction is but for a moment. So Yahushua is telling his hopeful elect that my burden is light. So by us suffering, seeing the things that's going on in this wicked society, it's light. because it's not going to be compared to the riches, the glory, or the magnitude of the types of things we're going to have in the next kingdom to come, Lord willing. And this is 1 Peter 1:3. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahushua, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua from the dead. Verse 4, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that faded not away, reserved in heaven for you. And that for you is representing the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And that incorruptible and undefiled inheritance represents the kingdom of heaven, an everlasting kingdom that's going to be in complete order, total righteousness, a righteous sovereignty that's going to be governed by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And it's joint heirs, the elect. So to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled. So why not wait upon a kingdom like that, where it has way much better expectations than the kingdom where we are currently at, and it's clearly collapsing. And it says, and that faded not away. So the fashion in this world is soon going to fade or pass away very soon. So those ones that are going to be reserved or kept in store for that perfect kingdom is the elect of the nation of Israel. That's why it says in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, that I have kept me a grape of a cluster, a great people, which is speaking about the elect, the ones that are not going to bow down to the image of Baal, but rather serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in truth and sincerity, and maintain all their integrity and moral codes. And another note to add to that, you think about the blood, the sweat, the tears, the pain, the grind that 2/3 of our people have contributed to Esau's kingdom. According to the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter, it says that the former things should not be in remembrance. So your so-called acknowledgments here on this side, your accolades, your awards, your ceremonies, anything that you have achieved to make Esau rich in his glory, it's not going to be remembered until the next kingdom to come, which is the kingdom of heaven, an everlasting kingdom at that. But the ones that stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, according to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, how he saw that vision that Yahushua was giving palms and crowns unto the hopeful elect, the one that stood stiffly for his name. According to the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 39th chapter, those same individuals, their memorial should not depart away. And their names are going to live from generation to generation, meaning they're going to be living legends. They're going to be talked about and praised and acknowledged in the next kingdom to come by these other nations, by standing bold in their integrity, adhering to moral codes and principles, by serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua when it was easy to sell out. But you would just rather keep your faith and patience upon your Savior, Yahushua, and just wait upon him so you could be joint heirs along with him and rule in righteousness. So with that, Lord willing, you all was edified, you all stay strong. Shalom.
I was hiding money, and if it's my money, I haven't stolen it. Isn't it my business to do what I want with it?
Do you know what you have?
Well, I have a ballpark figure, yes.
And you know where it is, and you have control of it?
Well, like I was saying, it's my business, and no one else should worry about how much money I have. No one should worry about how much Donald Trump had. I never asked how much he had. I never asked how much the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds had, or Magic Johnson, any athlete by that. Nobody asks about that. Why all of a sudden they want to worry about me by putting me in a situation? Because the fact is, they can't take away, which I know, that I'm a great fighter. So they say, God, he's a great fighter. People admire him for that.